Welcome to Love, Lies, and Lace Fronts, where we do reactions, reviews, and commentary on the YouTube channels you love to watch. Guys, welcome and thank you for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it. What are y'all doing? Guys, you know it's been some drama out here on these streets. We've talked about this before. I've got a couple of videos and I will go ahead and link them at the end and in the iCard. But you know our friend, loved by Erica, who is in love with Mr. Damion Cryer. Well, she had her baby last week, and normally what is usually a very happy occasion, the announcement of the baby came a little messy. I mean, it was really weird. Erica showed up on the YouTube streets in a state. I mean, she was super sad. I mean, gosh, guys, she had me almost crying. I mean, it was really sad because, gosh, we've seen her belly grow. We heard the announcement. We saw these two falling in love over mukbangs and cooking videos over at Mr. Cryer's house when he moved over to Houston. So just to back up just a little bit, and if you saw my live the other day, there's a lot more detail, but Erica gave birth to Damion Antoine Cryer. I think I got the name correct. So this baby would be Mr. Cryer's 7th child if we're counting Erica's twin. Because Erica did say she was having twins, but we'll get to that part. But now there's only one baby, okay? There's one baby, and his name is Damion Cryer. And where this is going to pick up in a second is Damion is actually going to get a DNA test. There are some issues, and he is not happy. He feels that this is just a bad relationship, and he and Erica are over. They are working on co-parenting, but the reason why this whole announcement went opposite of typical is because there was something rare called a vanishing twin syndrome, where she was pregnant with twins at one time, although Mr. Cryer states that, he never saw any proof. He said he never saw an ultrasound. Because of everything going on with Corona and the security measures in the hospitals and doctors' offices, he never actually really got to sit for an appointment. She never brought him any ultrasounds, nothing that I'm assuming ever said baby A and baby B. He just said he never saw ultrasounds. The doctor never spoke with him. And I feel like where there's a will, there's a way, even in today's world where everything is really a little bit different. But nonetheless, he was there for the delivery, Mr. Cryer. He saw the new son being born. He said there is no doubt in his mind that this is his baby. However, what concerns him is when Erica got home, she basically immediately kind of threw him under the bus as basically almost kind of being a deadbeat, or in his way feeling like she was shifting blame, not being open about the situation with the twins, and kind of falling back to where they were before the big breakup when she initially found out she was pregnant. I mean, this is a really complicated relationship, guys. Even Mr. Cryer's son, Damion Prince, the large YouTuber, got involved a couple of nights ago, went live on IG, and really expressed his heart from a couple of different places. One, from the fact, did I just lose a brother? And the question for me with that is that at one point in Erica's lives, she stated that the reason why they didn't tell the world that one of the twins was lost and about the vanishing twin syndrome was because she said Damion Cryer was told by his son, and we're going to assume Damion Prince, not to move forward with telling the full story until after the baby was born, which made me wonder why Damion Prince would be saying, did I lose a brother? Because he clearly would have known. So basically, I think what he was telling us is, yeah, I didn't know anything. And either someone's lying, but it's not me. I had no idea that there was even a loss of a twin at that point. Yeah, I had no idea about that. And I'm assuming hadn't consulted on it, because if he had, then he would know, and then he would be lying in his live, right? So who's telling the truth here about when this happened, or let's just say furthermore, if this happened? I think Mr. Cryer really just kind of laid out that Erica has been a lot to manage over the many months, and he seemed quite frustrated. Erica was very upset. I think Erica, we've known this all along. Erica is in love with Damion Cryer. Okay, she's in love with him. And clearly, after having a baby and postpartum and all of those things, I think that, she is in a really tough emotional state after having had a baby, after seeing now that her relationship is breaking up, and seeing that he really isn't going to have much more to do with her and that he's ending things. Also, the fact that she's kind of thrown his son, who is a very well-known large YouTuber, under the bus, really in almost like a conspiracy to hide the fact that she lost a baby. So she's really kind of throwing this off on Mr. Cryer and his son for the cover-up. So, guys, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this so far? Comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. But basically, Erica let out a lot of tea as per usual. She'd stated that Damion was basically paying her to work with him on videos. So when he would get his YouTube check, he would give her about $2,000 a month or $2,000 to basically pay her for being in videos, where she said he really didn't have to pay me. But, as my boyfriend, well, yeah, I mean, you would be giving me money anyway, but he was giving her about $2,000 a month. And he offered to help after the baby was born, move her to Houston, help take care of the baby. They'd spent Christmas together, even though for some reason she made it seem like they did not spend Christmas together. I think overarching everything, I would say that there is just a huge amount of distrust. I would say, number one, from Damion to Erica. I think Erica doesn't understand the relationship of being a woman who is younger than her mate. I mean, there's a considerable age difference. There's over 20 years age difference with these two. And even though that can work out, I don't know that Erica is in a mature enough place to handle a relationship with a man of this age, a man who's been married previously, 13 years, a man who would have had 7 children and 6 baby mothers. But at this moment, Mr. Cryer has 5 children, with 1 child who is deceased from a swimming accident, and potentially 1 twin that was lost in this pregnancy of Erica's. But nonetheless, this gentleman has had 6 baby mothers and now 5 children. So this guy is he's a man who has had a complicated life, and who I would think has some level of maturity. Does he handle everything perfect? I mean, I'm going to just say no. But does Erica, there's a lot of opportunity there for her to grow and for her to step up as a woman, as a mother, as a girlfriend, because I think that some of her expectations on who she is dealing with, and coming to the reality of how you got started, where there's controversy anyway. I mean, Erica, we know that there was some sort of a relationship. There was some sort of something, the whole Em and Vaughn thing. with Chris Sales, them taking your patrol car, you getting fired from your job. You were really good friends with D. Lowry, and somehow you ended up with D. Lowry's ex right after D. Lowry exited the building. So, Erica, people have been side-eyeing you for a minute, and what I would encourage you to do is take a minute, get yourself together, get this story together, and come back and tell us what really happened so people can move on and you can resume whatever it is that you're trying to do. But right now, between Mr. Cryer, his son Damion Prince, and yourself, Erica, you still have some explaining to do. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you hadn't seen my live from the other day, I will link it, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you.